Geopolitical tensions rattling investors in the markets this morning. You're looking at a global stocks falling as Vladimir Putin lowering Russia's nuclear response threshold after Ukraine reportedly launched a long-range strike on the country. With us to discuss is Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman. And Rick, you can see clearly serious implications from a variety of perspectives right now, but that, of course, playing out in the markets here this morning.
Right. I think a lot of people have tuned out the Russia-Ukraine war, but it's actually getting more intense and more serious. This is becoming a global conflict. I mean, we now have Iran and North Korea basically allied with Russia, and North Korea recently sent troops to Russia that they can use in this war. And the Biden administration, obviously, they're saying that in response to North Korea sending something like 10,000 troops, they have now finally told Ukraine that, yes, you can use U.S. weapons to strike military targets inside Russia. And of course, the Biden administration only has a couple months left in office. So I guess they want to see if they can make some sort of definitive difference here on behalf of Ukraine. But this is definitely getting more intense and more serious. It's worth pointing out Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, he has made many threats that he has not followed through on, and there's a good chance that this is another one. It's basically an implied threat to use nuclear weapons in this war. But the things that he is threatening are getting increasingly serious. So we just need to remember this is an incredibly serious war that's going on in Europe.
Yeah, nuclear threats, much different than tariff threats. But as we continue to think about what this means amid a transition, Rick, what type of difficulty does that layer on then to not just geopol, but also some of the larger business relationships that are going to be and have been anticipating, of course, what's coming in January and the changing of the guards in D.C.?
I mean, we're almost 3 years now into this war since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. And we've been, markets have been through a lot of adjustments here. I mean, there has been a huge adjustment in global energy markets. I mean, I think that's the very first thing that anybody would think about. And everything has settled down in terms of markets. So assuming Vladimir Putin does not actually start to move nuclear weapons around or do something like that, I think markets will shake this off. And we would know, I think the United States and the Biden administration in particular, I think they would be very vocal if they started to notice any signs that Russia might actually be thinking about making good on this threat of using perhaps a small nuclear weapon. I think we'd know about it. I don't think it would come as a surprise. So I think markets will settle down, but this is just a reminder that there are huge risks related to this war. In the meantime, we have this other war going on in the Middle East between Israel and Iran. These trade-offs and missile strikes and stuff like that. So the world is a dangerous place. The Trump administration is going to have to deal with this right away. There's not going to be, let's take 3 months and develop a new strategy, undertake an examination, form a panel, stuff like this. They're going to be facing a messy world right away. So we're going to be dealing with this straight into the new administration.
Rick, thank you. We're keeping tabs on the markets here, going into the start of trade here, of course, on this news. Appreciate it, Rick.